Welcome to Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network. What is going on, everybody? Somebody has a case of the Mondays. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. And, well, Bob's your uncle. Rants on the Street with Thomas Stevens. Shout out to my producer, Tyler Heavy T. Soto. Boom. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network at Better Network at all your favorite social media platforms, and also over on Fantasy Alarm at Fantasy Alarm at all your favorite social media platforms. We are back from the holidays. That's right. The holidays were on Mondays this year, so obviously we couldn't have a show. But we are back after a couple-week hiatus, and good to be with you. Heavy T will be joining me as well, and also Thomas Stevens for Rant on the Street. So excited about that. It is championship night. Michigan is running all over Washington right now, 17-3 in the national championship. I will be giving you live look-ins to that as it goes forward, anything that happens and whatnot. It should be a lot of fun. The public was all on Washington as the underdog, plus 4.5. I like Michigan all the way. I know Washington is undefeated. I know they've done their thing, but they have barely pulled out wins this year. Barely. And this is a team that seems determined in Michigan right now. And right now, Washington needs to figure something out because there's 4:40 to go until halftime. And it's not looking good right now. They need to make some major adjustments to stop that running game from Michigan if they have any chance at actually pulling off this upset and winning the college football national championship. But we'll keep you updated with that as more comes throughout the show. A couple things I want to go over first before we get started is there's going to be some changes this year. Yes, happy 2024 to all of you out there, my fellow ranters. Again, hope you had a wonderful holidays with the family, and hope your New Year's resolutions are going just fine. Hopefully you stuck to them. It's been a week now, so yeah, you never know. What is it? Dry January, lose weight. Those are that kind of like the main two, right? Be a better person. Is that one? I don't know how it works. But yeah, good luck to all you and your endeavors in 2024. A couple changes we're going to be making here on the show is we're not going to be 2 hours anymore. We are going to be a little bit shorter than 2 hours this year. We're going to be an hour at least. Sometimes me and Heavy T will get ranting and may go over an hour. But we're not going to have a full 2 hours this year. We're going to keep it to about an hour and a half at most is what it was like originally when the show was created 5 years ago. So that's a big change this year. But don't worry. Heavy T, myself, and Thomas Stevens, the whole Monday Night Rants crew will be with you all year long. And also more betting. I'm going to give you some more of my bets. We've absolutely crushed on this show. And Heavy T and myself will be doing some more betting. Tonight on the show that when he comes on, we are going to be talking all wild card preview. That's right. Complete wild card breakdown. The super wild card weekend coming up. And we are going to let you know our favorite bets, our picks, and probably do a bracket here all the way to the Super Bowl. I picked Buffalo Bills and 49ers at the beginning of the year. Am I sticking to it? You have to hang on to find out towards the end of the show. And then we're going to give you some best bets. Gotta love the best bets. There's one NBA game on later tonight that hasn't started. So I'm going to let you in on a couple things I like in this game. It's the Suns at the Clippers. The Clippers coming off a back-to-back after a tough loss last night to the Lakers. A back-to-back that scares me a little bit as a Clipper fan. I think this is a game where they can slip up. Currently, the spread is minus 5.5. The Clippers at home, under and over 233.5. Both these I'm kind of staying away from. I don't know if I actually absolutely like these tonight. The spread seems a little wild to me at 5.5 after a back-to-back playing the Lakers last night. And Phoenix, they've had some woes lately. They're deaf, man. It's showing. They do not have it. But plus 5.5, if you had to put a gun to my head, I would take Phoenix actually at the 5.5, only because on the back end of a back-to-back. And that scares me a little bit for the Clippers. But Welcome to the show. MD says JJ McCarthy was in the Epstein documents. Okay. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, we're not going to be talking about those today. Sorry. Not tonight. Maybe another time. What I do like is a couple of props here in this game that I absolutely love. And one of them is Kawhi Leonard. And that's under 24.5 points. I really like this prop. It's probably my favorite of this game. Last night in the Laker game, Kawhi sat out a lot of the fourth quarter till about 1:17 left in the game. Not sure why Lou did it. There was really no explanation, but he's been battling kind of injuries and he's been resting more after playing almost every game the first 3 months of the season. I really think it's going to be a Harden show tonight, and I like the under of 24.5 points for Kawhi Leonard. And the other one I really, really like is Grayson Allen. I think this is way too low for me tonight. 3-pointers made, 2.5. I'm taking the over. This is a guy who has 13 made 3-pointers over his last 2 games. So the Suns are letting him fire. And I think tonight he gets at least 3. So I like the over of 2.5 3-pointers for Grayson Allen on the other side as well. And those are my 2 best bets for tonight's game. Hopefully the Clippers can pull it off after the loss last night. All right. Let's jump into the rant lines, shall we? Yes, we can. The biggest news today, obviously, it's Black Monday. That's right, Black Monday in the NFL, and 2 coaches have already hit the streets. Arthur Smith did not like Dennis Allen and what he did yesterday, even though it wasn't his fault. It was Jameis Winston who said we wanted to give Jamal Williams a touchdown, so we voted to do it, and blah, blah, blah. And he had a cussing storm. But Arthur Smith was already knew his job was done. It was a terrible showing for his Falcons, and he is off into the sunset as the Atlanta Falcons head coach. And I think Ron Rivera may have boarded his last riverboat there in Washington. He was also let go. Both these coaches have not been good, to say the least. Arthur Smith for the Falcons literally has gone 7-10 all 3 years. All 3 years as the Falcons head coach. He's consistent. And Ron Rivera as well. He had that 1 year where he made the playoffs, but ultimately he was 24-40 in 4 seasons as the Commanders, the Washington football team, and the Redskins head coach. He did that with 3 different teams. No, same team, 3 different names. So it's good to see them go. A couple names are in the hat for, of course, for these places. Will be fun to talk to Heavy T later about what he thinks the Falcons should do. That's for sure. And interesting, we talk about the Falcons here and what we think that they should do as a head coach. Now, they got a good team. They made some money and spent on defense, right? They got Bijan Robinson. They got Drake London. They have Kyle Pitts still. They got talent. The quarterback is still iffy. That's something that will have to be figured out. But hey, they have the number 2 pick of the draft. I'm sorry. The Commanders do, not the Falcons. The Falcons later on. But there's a lot of quarterbacks in this draft. And I think they can pull one up. I'm not sold on Ritter. I never was. And Taylor Heineke, we know what he is. However, I think a good spot. Can Bill Belichick go to the Atlanta Falcons? Interesting spot here for Belichick. And it came out today, actually, that the Falcons are very interested in Belichick if he becomes available. I'm still 50-50 on if I think he will be available. I think he may stay 1 more year. However, the Patriots are in a spot where they could draft a quarterback. They need to. They really, really need to. And then would a new quarterback, a top round quarterback, not a Mac Jones, not one of these in the draft, convince Belichick to stay a little bit longer? A Drake May, maybe. I don't know. A Jaden Daniels. But ultimately, if I had to say, is Belichick going to leave? I'd say there's about a 60% chance he leaves, a 40% chance he stays. He looks miserable on the sidelines. He has most of the year. He's not having fun coaching. Well, when you lose, that happens, right? He's still a good coach, and I think Atlanta would be a good spot for him. Rumors about the Chargers as well. I don't think he's going to the Panthers. I don't think he's going to the Commanders. I think Atlanta would be a good spot for him if he were to leave. The Chargers, however, came out today, coaching right now in the national championship game. Harbaugh. would Harbaugh, especially if they win this game, would his era be over at Michigan? If they win this game, I say he rises into the sunset and goes back to the NFL. Rumor has it the Chargers are a team he would want to go coach for. I think it's a good fit. This guy is a genius with quarterbacks, just like his brother. So I think Harbaugh to the Chargers makes a lot of sense. Herbert's a good quarterback. You have offense there when they're healthy and not hurt. We'll see what happens with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler. So it could be a complete turnover on those reins. But they also have the 5th pick in the draft here to make some noise. And a defense that has the talent just needs someone to put them in the right direction there. So we'll see what ultimately happens. But in the long run, I think Harbaugh's a good fit for the Chargers. Harbaugh could be a good fit for the Commanders as well. The Panthers, though, with what's going on with their ownership and everything, I don't think anybody wants to take that job with the Panthers right now. It's going to be rough sledding to find someone who actually wants to coach that team as a head coach. Seriously, it's going to be tough sledding there for the Carolina Panthers going forward. One thing that's been asked all day today after the games yesterday that I've seen all over X and then in social media and Bleacher Report and ESPN is the coaches not benching players in these games yesterday who have already qualified for the playoffs, like the Lions, the Eagles, even though they still had something to play for, and they were really quick to bench players after it got out of hand. More on the Eagles later. But what's the difference? Okay, I see both sides of this. One, you keep them fresh. Taking a week off, keep them their mind in the game still. Get them out there. Then only play them for a half. But they're still playing football. That makes sense. On the other side, the injury. Injuries can happen anywhere. We've seen multiple players get injured at home all the time. But somebody broke their leg early this year. Njoku burnt himself at a fire pit at home. So injuries is a fluke. They happen on the field and off the field. But there were some biggies yesterday that put this into question about if you should start your players week 18 when you've already made it to the big dance or not. Of course, the big one that happened yesterday was the Sam Laporta injury. This is huge, and I mean absolutely huge for the Lions. He was the safety valve for Jared Goff. One of the best tight end rookie years we've ever seen. Playing out of his rocker. Now, he was carted off the field, and he probably should have been playing. He should have been playing. We don't know. But it was a knee injury. But it looks like it wasn't as bad as it looked when he was carted off the field. It was a hyperextension of his knee. So nothing, no major rips, tears, anything. And I think he had a bone bruise as well, which those hurt, by the way. Not fun. So with that being said, he's going to miss this week against the Rams. So that's not good at all for the Lions. So should he be played? Should he not have played? I don't know, but the injury doesn't look good. Another injury that happened that was a big injury was A.J. Brown. But the Eagles had something to play for if the Cowboys were to lose to the Commanders. So we knew that wasn't going to happen. And A.J. Brown, after one catch, knee, had to go to the locker room. It didn't look good. It kind of buckled a little bit under the tackle. It kind of moved and flexed a little bit. And just like that, he was off and running the locker room, not to return. Now, it seemed to be more safety than anything, as it turns out, that his knee should be okay. It sounds like Sirianni said, we'll see, expects him to be ready to go, but you never know with a knee injury, they can be rough. I mean, we saw Tyreek Hill out there last night playing with an ankle injury that looked bad. He was in a brace when the fire broke out at his house earlier this week, and he was hobbling around, but he could still play out there. So we'll see how bad the knee injury for A.J. Brown. And the Eagles, oh boy, do they need him, because he has literally definitely the team and as a whole, the Eagles have not looked good, and they could be in trouble here in the first round of the playoffs. More on that later. when we talk about the playoff picture and the bets for this week. So there you have it. A little bit of NBA news here before we go into a break, before we get Rants on the Street with Thomas Stevens. Just so you know, a field goal was scored by the Washington Huskies, making it 10-17, 12 minutes left, a one touchdown game, 12 seconds left in the second quarter. And we'll keep you updated more and more as that goes through. But it looks like Michigan was going to run away with it, but slowly is keeping Washington in the game, which is not what you want to do if you're Michigan. One thing that really bugged me that I saw today over in the NBA was this guy just can't stay out of the news, Danny. That's the best bet, so that's my bad. Draymond Green. That's right, Draymond Green. I don't know what's going on with him. He's been fighting people on the court, bad technical fouls, punching people at practice. Just not a good look. But today, he's talking about how when this whole next suspension came, he was talking about he wanted to retire. He said he wanted to retire because he was suspended by Adam Silver for all his antics on the court. What are we doing here, Draymond Green? What are we really, really doing? That is absolutely pathetic. You weren't going to retire. You just want people to feel bad for you. You don't want to take the blame yourself. Own it. He said, and I quote, "Adam, this is too much for me. This is too much. It's all becoming too much for me, and I'm going to retire." That's the exact quote from Draymond Green. I don't know if he said it like that, but doesn't that sound like a fantasy young adult novel? Something just so dramatic. And Adam said, "You're making a very rash decision, and I won't let you do that." Come on, Draymond. Just stop hitting people. Just stop being so aggressive. And how about work on your shot? There's an idea. How about work on your shot? Maybe that could help get you going forward instead of making bonehead plays and spinning back fist on players and all this stuff. You're kicking people. But how many times can you kick people in the nuts or hit them in the nuts? I think you have the record for that. Anyways, once again, a player in the NBA just trying to make it all about everything but himself. At the same time, making it about himself. So kudos to Draymond Green for accomplishing that feat. There. All right. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, my boy Thomas Stevens will join me. He hasn't been on for a while. He's been celebrating his holidays and whatnot with the family. And he just sent me a text and said he doesn't have a link. So let me get him on here real quick. After the break, Thomas Stevens, Rants on the Street. Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network.
I like to eat my feelings. So when I'm like super sad, single serving pint sizes of Ben and Jerry's, I just start shoveling that in, and it makes me feel bigger and better. But so let's eat our feelings here. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna talk football players, food. We're gonna pair them up. Who is represented by what food? All right, I want to just shout out Hal Alexander in there for CMC, Christian McCaffrey, is Rocky Road ice cream. A little bit of everything.
Yeah,
does it?
Good Hal.
I like it, man. You know it. I love me some Rocky Road ice cream. Bijan Robinson prime rib. You know what? Bijan Robinson prime rib with a baked potato and some cream spinach on the side. That's what I'm talking about. That is the King's dinner. And Bijan Robinson, I don't care if the dude from The Athletic says only 301, touches. You know what? In honor of Card Sharks, I'm going to say, guys, that I think that number is going to be a little bit higher there for Bijan Robinson. So get your knife, get your fork, you got your steak, you got your Bijan.
Yeah, that's what's up. You're on death row, and they say you get one last meal, and you just say Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, I'm totally down with that. Love it.
I got to jump in on one real quick because Mr. Scamper said Kareem Hunt is candy corn, and I actually had a player, Tyler Boyd, was going to be candy corn for me, and basically it's that nobody likes it, but it's always there. It's always there, and somebody always puts their hand in and grabs some and has some, and they're like, well, and afterwards they're like, why did I eat that? That's Tyler Boyd. He always gets drafted, and he's just kind of there, and nobody knows why. Nobody knows why they take him. Nobody knows where it comes from. Where does the candy corn even come from? Like, it's just there. It's just there.
Yeah. What is going on, everybody? That was some interesting music, to say the least. Welcome back to Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network, at Better Network, at all your favorite social media platforms, and at Fantasy Alarm as well, at Fantasy Alarm, at all your favorite social media platforms. During the break, Heavy T has a internet power outage at his house. I'm going to see if he could join by his phone later and have some fun with him during that. But in the meantime, why not Thomas Stevens? And I don't mean that in a bad way. That's why he's first here tonight. Thomas, how was your holidays, my friend?
It was good. It was good. Spent it with the family, had good food, nice presents as always, you know.
Yeah, what did Santa bring you this year?
Santa got me a nice snow jacket for when I go snowboarding.
Nice Santa.
Yeah, some nice other clothes, necessities. Santa got me a lot of good necessities. So.
And you celebrated the New Year safe, I assume.
Yep. It was actually very, very peaceful New Year's Eve. Didn't transition to New Year's, so yeah, not too crazy.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions that you did, like everyone's doing?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I'm trying to calm down a little bit, you know, on the road and just in life in general, not let people, you know, get to me as much, and definitely go to the gym a little bit more. Work out. I think that's on every single person's, besides people who go to the gym.
Yeah.
New Year's resolution. So
there should be to not go to the gym for January.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Balance it out a little bit, you know.
But I miss you, man. I miss you. We feel like we have.
I know, me too, man. It's been a while.
So I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, well, some breaking news here, I guess, in the NBA. I know you're a big NBA guy with me. A bad injury happened during the game here. The Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton, slipped on the floor, did some splits here. And I saw the video like right before the show was starting. It does not look good. Left hamstring. It looks like could miss anywhere from, 4 weeks to 12.
Damn, man.
It looked bad. His teammates had to carry him off the court. He had his towel over his head, looked like he was crying. And that sucks because, you know, I was all about the Pacers this year, and he definitely is the engine for that team. And it didn't look good. So sucks for Halliburton. He was also leading in all-star voting for his position as well currently. So just rough. Oh, it looks like Heavy T just
up and running.
He will be here later. So we'll see. We're having fun.
That sucks, man. It does suck.
Yeah, it's terrible for the NBA because I like when these stars, it finally all, we saw it last year. You and I talked about it last year. It was coming together, and we said he's gonna have a huge year this year, and sure enough, he has. And next thing you know, here we are. A bad injury. It looks like. Hopefully, praying for the best. But a Halliburton bad injury during the game tonight, and wow, that sucks. It's indeed. Also in the NBA, our teams faced off last night, and another classic there. The Clippers and the Lakers. Well, you guys were watching Tua Tagliova try to win the game by throwing to Chase Claypool in double coverage.
Absolutely.
You were missing a great basketball game. Yeah, you were missing a great basketball game over there between the Lakers and the Clippers. It came down to a missed 3-point shot that went in and out at the end by Norman Powell, and a must needed win for the Lakers, let me tell you. So how you feeling about the Lakers right now after this last month?
To be honest with you, man, I really, you know, I'm not a fake fan. I still watch my team. I still cover my team, you know, but I am a little bit kind of like the Chargers was with Staley, to be honest with you, man. I am kind of on strike right now. I refuse to even believe in this team remotely until Darvin Pocket's ham goes away. He is the most frustrating coach I've seen in a long time. He is worse than Luke Walton was, which is absolutely wild for me to say. His rotations are terrible. Cam Reddish, the fact Cam Reddish still has a starting job is beyond me. He doesn't get technical fouls. He never gets thrown out of games. He shows no emotion. He's not a coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. So there's a lot of problems. Roster needs to be shaken up. D'Angelo Russell could get off my team tomorrow. I have no cares. So they have a problem, man. It's motivation for them. I feel like, when they play the Clippers last night, right? It's a heavily motivated game. They want to beat them. It's Kawhi, all these people. They show up and, LeBron has a big game. AD did his thing, but it's teams like the Memphis Grizzlies and it's teams like the Pelicans and, games like that where if the motivation is not pushing through, the Lakers will not show up. D'Angelo Russell will probably do good because it's a shitty game, but, the role players, Austin Reeves, he hasn't really been there. So it's rough, man. It's rough, honestly.
So you're saying that Pockets Ham, which is now what I'm going to call him forever, is the NBA equivalent of Brandon Staley.
100%. 100%.
I'm sorry.
I don't know, but as a fan of that team, my friend's a Lakers fan, he's a Chargers fan. He put it the best way. He said, "And doing the same thing I did with the Chargers, I'm striking until Staley, was gone, and I'm right there with him with Darvin Ham too. So
very good, very good." Well, good luck to you the rest of the way. Yeah, and your Lakers. I think there's one more game with the Clippers, and that's it. They're already done, which is great.
Yeah, that is wild too. I mean, we've already played twice, I think. But
the Clippers are looking good, man. They're looking good, and even the games that they lose, they're not getting blown out, and they're a scary team in a 7-game series if everyone's healthy. That's the big if there. So
I agree.
So hopefully we go forward. Well, I don't know if we have any NBA questions tonight, but shall we jump into the first Rants on the Street of 2024?
Yes, sir. We are all football. I would imagine that's because it is the NFL playoffs. People had, questions and stuff like that. So I guess NBA another time. But
it's a good thing we got our NBA talk in with the breaking Halliburton news
there we go.
already.
Exactly. get it starts going on our rants.
Exactly. All right, let me get ready to yell.
Number one, to be honest, man, this question's been asked a lot, but it is a valid question for this week because of what happened. What's going to go on with the Chicago Bears and the pick that they own? Last week you heard we want Fields chance. They do go lose to Green Bay. Pretty bad. Not pretty bad, but, they did lose. So what do you think goes on?
Well, I think, obviously, I'm a degenerate, so I've already looked at like 18 mock drafts of the NFL draft today. And a lot of them, most of them had them picking a quarterback. There was a few that I thought were smart and what I would do. What we saw this year was how much better Justin Fields can be. And keep in mind, he also missed a few games this year.
Yeah.
How much better he could be with a good caliber wide receiver on his team in DJ. How about take what could be the best receiver since Calvin Johnson in the draft, number 1, pair him with DJ Moore, and Kmet, by the way, came in his own today. And get some sort of running game later in the draft. And keep in mind, they have 2 first-round picks, too.
Yep.
Get Marvin Harrison Jr. and just open that offense. We don't know what happened with Minnesota Vikings in their quarterback situation. Jordan Love, second in the NFL in touchdown passes this year, surprisingly, which is insane. But the conference is still there, and they weren't too far off from actually making the playoffs in the week NFC, right?
Yeah.
So I think starting over with a new quarterback isn't the answer. I think Fields showed a lot of promise. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is the answer at number 1, and that's what I would do if I was the Bears. Now, they could also trade it and take Marvin Harrison Jr. later, or Neighbors later, maybe, if he's around later in the draft, which could be smart. Like let's say the Patriots trade up over Washington because they want the 1 and they have 3, right? They could probably still get Marvin Harrison Jr. at 3, but get something else to return for the Patriots, making sure they get the quarterback they want, so Washington doesn't get the quarterback that they want. So the smart play would probably be to trade 1, go down to 3 or 4, or even, because 4 is Arizona. They don't really need a quarterback. The Chargers are 5, maybe Patriots, and then get that receiver. they need another receiver on that team to really open Fields up even more. So I think that's the play.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. Both ways, but the trade one's interesting to me because the Patriots. I mean, Washington, I think scares the Patriots. I know that Drake May is a great quarterback, and there are a lot of great quarterbacks coming in here, but obviously the guy everybody wants is Caleb Williams. Washington needs a quarterback. I know Sam Howell is solid, but you never know what they could do over there. They probably will take a quarterback with how many are available in this draft.
Well, it's going to be a whole new coach and a whole new scheme.
Exactly. Whole new thing. So I could totally see New England being scared of that aspect if they do want to go get the generational talent in Caleb Williams and making that trade with Chicago. It makes sense for Chicago. Wait on Marvin Harrison. You get some later round picks from the Patriots, maybe picks for next year, whatever works, take them. But Marvin Harrison is Caleb Williams, I still have questions with. I think he's going to be a generational talent, but Marvin Harrison, I have zero questions with. I have not one question with this guy.
No, there's zero.
As long as
he's
he's
Justin Jefferson, he's
exactly.
Calvin Johnson,
he's Calvin Johnson. Every single one of them put together. So you get him, you get a generational talent, and you get to see what you still have in Fields. And I think you have a quarterback in Fields. So I 100% agree with you. Make the trade. Stop cycling quarterbacks in Chicago. You have your guy.
And when it's all said and done, and then try it with Fields, right? Try it with Fields and try it with Harrison. And if that doesn't work out, then dump Fields and get a quarterback and then you still have Marvin Harrison Jr. and DJ Moore.
Yep.
When it's all said and done, I think it'd be hella funny. And I mean hella. Yeah, I'm saying hella like it's the 90s. If the Carolina Panthers traded away literally Marvin Harrison Jr. and DJ Moore.
Yep, for
Bryce Young.
And it's probably going to happen. It is probably.
Who's the owner? I forgot his name. The owner of the Panthers, but this one's
he is.
You are one pathetic loser.
Yeah,
that one's throwing a drink.
yeah, that one's for him definitely.
All right, number 2. Can the Browns make a legit playoff push with Flacco and the defense? Everything like that.
I guess someone saw my video on Instagram and wanted to send that one in. Calm yourselves, Browns fans. I guess I'll give it away, but I have them losing in the first round in my bracket, and more on that. Heavy T does have internet. He will be joining us. So I don't think so. Yes, they have a good defense. Flacco's been great. I just don't see them winning this game in Houston. And even if they win that game in Houston, I don't see them going far after that either. And there's no way head-to-head they could even compare to the Baltimore Ravens. Not even close. Or the Bills, right? Which I think are the number one and like my two favorite teams coming out of the. They could possibly put it to the Chiefs because the Chiefs have been really weird this year. But I don't think so. I mean, congratulations for them. But imagine this team next year if they get a quarterback or maybe Kirk Cousins or someone comes in there. I don't think they're going to roll into next season with Flacco as their
No.
But it's a good building momentum for them. Like we thought last year, the Jacksonville Jaguars were building momentum. Oops. Geez, what a fumble. What did they just say? Hey, Chargers, we could do better.
Let me one up you.
But I don't think so for the Browns. I think it's happy to be here and out.
I just want to say, I know.
By the way, they're a favorite on the road too.
They are a favorite on the road, and I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know why. I think that the Browns this is a bias a little bit speaking, let's be real, but I do think that they are pretty, phony in the playoffs. I don't think that the interception ratio is going to be good for them. I think Flacco, yes, he puts that ball in the end zone, but there is a high turnover rate with that man. Elijah Moore is now out. So, obviously you still have Njoku, you still have Cooper, you still have the weapons there, but it's suspect to me. And I think, first round, I think the Texans are, not legit, but they're legit enough to go beat the Browns. D'Amico Ryans is a genius. CJ Stroud is absolute talent. I would love to see them have Tank Dell. I think that would help out a lot. They don't. It's unfortunate. But, I got the Browns going home first with you, man. And a lot of people gave me, crap for that this last 2 days for speaking on that. But, I'm right there with you. I think that magical run. You went 11-5 or 10, whatever it was. And, congratulations to you. But it's over.
And plus, we're the show of record for the Houston Texans fans. So we got to root for the Texans fans, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
What we got next? We got to move a little bit quicker here.
Is it number 3? Trevor Lawrence still promising quarterback for the Jags.
Jeez. I guess. Now, I think he's at his ceiling.
Mhm.
I don't think he gets much better than what we've seen. You gave him Calvin Ridley this year, right? And still,
mediocre.
Now I know he's been banged up in every area of his body most of the year, but talk about a guy who I never see show emotion. Joe Burrow is kind of similar, but he does it in a way where it has like that game face, right?
Mhm.
He's just serious.
Stone cold, yeah.
I don't know what's going on with Trevor Lawrence. His face, his demeanor, everything is that character is Sunshine from.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like,
Remember the Titans?
he's just happy to be there. I don't
Yeah.
know. He just, I've never liked his demeanor. I don't know. Something about him just
Mhm.
isn't there for me. And just, I think this is his ceiling. Like what you see. I don't think he's going to magically get better. I think this is what they're going to be. Now they need help on the defensive side of the ball for sure. And Trevor Lawrence has to stay healthy. And ETN started the year off great, but the last half of the season he was not good. So a lot there that needs to be worked out around him.
Mhm.
But I kind of look at him the same way as Tua. I don't think Tua ever gets better. It's just what's around him, really. You know, like Tua's never going to be an
I
elite
agree.
quarterback. He's just going to be a good fantasy quarterback from what's around him. So that's kind of look at it. I'm sorry, I said we go faster than I went off on a tangent.
No, you're chilling. I don't need to spend too much time on that either. I think he's still their quarterback, but he's not promising. So
Yeah, he's going to be there.
that's all we need.
I'm going to expect him to turn into Tom Brady overnight.
Exactly. Although I will say, Christian Kirk did go out. I will give him a little benefit of the doubt, but you still had pieces around you enough to get it done. So
let me ask you this. I'm sorry, Heavy T. We're going to go a little. I don't ask this. You're starting in an NFL franchise and you have two quarterbacks to choose from right now. Who would you take? And be honest, Trevor Lawrence or Brock Purdy?
Oh, give me Purdy. Give me Brock Purdy.
Isn't that crazy that we're saying that today?
It's wild. Yeah, it's absolutely wild. But
I agree.
Give me Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
I love that. Give me Brock Purdy.
Switch the teams. Put Brock Purdy on Jacksonville and put Trevor Lawrence on the 49ers. A lot of people argue, well, yeah, the 49ers have more talent. Yeah, you have McCaffrey, but you also have ETN and Ridley. You got Ayuk and Debo, and you got Ingram, and you got Kittle. So they almost balance out offensive wise.
We do 100%.
McCaffrey's a beast, so I'm just putting him in his own pedestal. That opens up for Purdy. But Purdy's a better thrower of the football than Trevor Lawrence is.
He's also smarter. He's smarter.
Yeah, I think Purdy would still put up numbers with Jacksonville.
I agree. Right system for sure. And Doug Peterson is a great coach. So,
and I think that Trevor Lawrence would put up the same numbers with the 49ers.
That's Jacksonville with the Niners. Respect. All right, number 4. This is an interesting one. Where will Derrick Henry land?
Ooh. Who wants a 30-year-old running back? I don't know that. I watched that video. I mean, that looked like a goodbye to me. I've never seen one. Yeah, he ain't coming back. Titans fans, I'm sorry, but nobody does that. And like shows up to training camp the next year. I'm sorry.
I don't think I've ever seen that, to be honest.
No, that was bizarre. He is done.
No retirement speech, but I'm leaving.
Yeah. Shout out to my Tajay Spears shares though in my dynasty.
Yeah,
but
that is a fact.
I don't know what's a good spot for him. I really don't.
What do you think about Baltimore?
They'll have J.K. Dobbins back for one game until he gets hurt again.
Exactly.
They
just like a
Mitchell looks really good though. He'll be back. I know he tore his ACL too. It's a good spot for him.
I don't know like who else needs a running back. Like it's hard.
They're just finding them off the streets nowadays. Literally, they're finding running backs like out of nowhere. Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, Kyron Williams for the Rams, he turned into a superstar. Exactly. They literally find him out of nowhere. Eckler was undrafted. It's insane. Yeah, I can't.
It's tough. I
don't know. Good spot. I mean, if Eckler does leave,
that's very interesting.
Chargers with a new head coach, especially if it's Harbaugh, could be a good fit. But will the Chargers pay the money? He's going to want money. He's 30.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
if it's content, I was actually Heavy T. That's funny. He literally just said that. Yeah. I agree with that too. I could see that, but I just don't think it fits.
He says Cincinnati. If Mixon leaves, he can go to Cincinnati. Okay.
It doesn't fit the scheme amazing in Cincinnati. A lot of pass catching ability for Joe Mixon. That's one of the things that they do well. But if they have Chris Evans or whatever his name is, off the backfield.
Chase Brown or whatever name. He's been doing well. Yeah.
So
not the football equivalent of Captain America over there.
All right. So on number 5, we're still going to stay in football. What's going on with the Eagles? Are the Eagles in trouble? You think they figure it out in the playoffs? What do you think?
Oh, they won't have much time to figure it out. And we don't know what's going on with AJ Brown.
Yeah.
And also, what wasn't the running game? He was hurt as well, DeAndre Swift, or was he just sick? I don't know.
No, I think
Hurts finger. I don't know, man. The team just
the defense is trash.
In the last 5 weeks, that team just became an absolute mess. It went from a powerhouse to an absolute mess.
The Niners after that Niners game, man.
Yeah,
I don't know what
they bent him over their knee and spanked him hard, and they never recovered. Yeah, I think they put away the Buccaneers closely.
Yeah,
closely. They're the other road favorite here this weekend. But I think they're going to have trouble, especially if they do. Then they have to go to San Francisco. Well, maybe unless the Packers beat Dallas, but I don't see that happening. And then I think they're going to spank by the 49ers. I think it's a revenge game for the 49ers, and they're going to spank them the way they spanked them last year. So yeah, I think it's pack your bags, time for next year. And I don't know what it is with them. The team's great on paper. They just haven't put it together. And the second half of the season, and even remember in the first half of the season, they were winning games, but not not convincingly.
I think it's too much selfish talent. I don't want to say too much talent because the Niners have that too much talent, but it's not. The Niners aren't selfish. It's not. You don't see Debo going to the sideline and screaming at his offensive coordinator because he's not touching the football. You know what I mean? AJ Brown will have a full-on panic attack on the sideline if he doesn't touch the football in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's a lot of worrisome going on. If I was an Eagles fan, I'd be freaking out because I thought I was winning the Super Bowl, for most of the season. So it's worrisome. I've heard Eagles fans also, I don't really pay attention to this, but Nick Sirianni, I've heard them talk very low about him the last couple of weeks about his play calling and, just coaching ability in general. So maybe that could be an issue. I don't know. I haven't really paid attention to that. But
imagine Stephon Diggs and AJ Brown doing an escape room together. That would be fun.
Jesus. I'm getting
start panicking and yelling at each other and yelling at themselves, and
tears would come for sure. 100%.
And the whole time the key to the door is just hanging from the ceiling above their head. All right, my friend. Give the hoodie to the guy who saw my Browns video on Instagram. Shout out to him or girl. Shout out to him. Hoodie for you. As it gets warmer, we'll start giving out hats again, but hoodies for now. It's still cold outside.
Hoodies still work.
Next week, you and I, but before we do Rants on the Street, we'll give some UFC 297 picks. Strickland back in action against Deblay. Yeah, we'll give our picks next week, Thomas and myself, for UFC for the 297. A good matchup this weekend too, by the way, for Fight Night coming back.
Yeah.
Anchef and Walker too, right? On Fight Night.
I love you gotta always love a Johnny Walker fight.
Or you could try to download and buy Peacock so you could watch the football game.
Just go to a stream site.
That's right. At Better Thomas, Instagram, TikTok, X, YouTube. That's his address too. You can mail him letters at Better Thomas if you want. I don't know. Rants on the Street's back 2024. Thank you, my friend.
Of course.
Next week we'll talk UFC, some NBA, and then do Rants on the Street again. Good luck to your Lakers this week, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. All right, later, my man.
Later. All right. Rants on the Street with Thomas Stevens. Welcome back to 2024. How's it going? All NFL questions this week. Didn't expect that at all. And then again, like we said, next week some UFC love for you, some betting, some picks for DFS and whatnot. We're going to have a lot of fun. Speaking of having fun, Heavy T, you ready to do this? Screw the break. Let's just do this, man. That's right.
Yeah.
Look who's back from the holidays.
Oh, man. It's okay. So it was weird. So at work, then the holidays, then I think work in there again somewhere. And then as soon as the show starts, the internet in my area decides to take a crap. And in the span of 5 minutes, I got a notification saying it was out, to it slightly working, to it full on running again. So I don't know what the hell's going on. But yeah, man, no, glad to be back after I think like a month.
It's Terminator 2. That's what it is. It's what
well, then by this time tomorrow, we're all dead. So
yeah. Exactly. Well, how was your holiday? What did Santa bring you this year, my friend?
Pretty good. Got some sports stuff per usual. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a really hard person to shop for because I buy almost everything I want.
That's
So
kind of like how
there's
I am.
that. Yeah, there's that. But my brother did surprise me. He got one of the best gifts I've gotten in a long time. He got me a Jurassic Park Lego set, and it's the part
Woo!
where the T-Rex breaks through the fence and attacks the SUVs. So that's gonna be
Nice.
fun putting together.
Please tell me there's an outhouse with the dude on the toilet in there as well.
I do not know. I will get back to you on that, but I am not sure yet.
That would be absolutely incredible. That's one of the most memorable scenes of the whole movie. I love that movie.
Oh,
I've
totally,
seen that movie
totally.
more than anything. So very disappointing, the new ones. And I love Chris Pratt too, but man, that first one is absolutely legend. Speaking of legend, you called it. You said earlier that the Houston Texans would be making the playoffs, would make it all the way to the AFC Championship game, my friend. And here we are, going over a preview of the wild card super duper weekend or whatever they call it now.
I think it's
something like that.
Wild, yeah, I think it's super wild card weekend. I think that's what it is.
Super duper wild card extravagant weekend here. So what we're gonna do, you could do this on ESPN yourself. I filled out my own because it's probably, I'm sure we're gonna argue about it a few things, or we could be dead on. We'll see. But we're gonna go over each game. We're gonna give our betting picks and our picks, and then kind of fill out a bracket here going forward in the playoffs. So, MVT, let's start with, they said, oh, by the way, this segment is called, come on, What Say Ye, Heavy T?
Forgot about that. Not gonna lie, forgot about that.
I got to just put it on a button so I don't have to do it every time because my throat hurts after every time I do it. But
Oh, there you go. That'll work.
Yeah, just boo. And I'll do a little music jingle or something. I have some fun with it and make it a day. I told everyone in the beginning while you're doing with the power outage that we are doing a new format here where we're going to go about an hour, but you and me will always end. So if we're yelling and you're going off about the Bears, we go longer. We're just no longer doing 2-hour segmented shows here anymore. We're just going to have more fun with it as we go forward. So, but by the way, Penix came out of half and threw an interception on the first drive for Washington. And here comes a field goal attempt now for Michigan to try to go up 20-10. Who do you got in this one first before we go?
It's good.
Who do you got in this one, or who did you have?
I had Washington, but here's the thing: the Washington team that showed up is the Washington team that barely skated by Arizona State. Like, this team just does not look good. They look all disheveled. I don't know what's going on. I mean, credit to Michigan's defense, as we've known all year, but this Washington team is just, they look awful.
Yeah, they just let Michigan run down their throat in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Bears.
Yeah.
Absolutely embarrassing. Well, we'll see how it plays out, but let's jump into the NFL here. Let's start with the game. Cleveland at Houston. Cleveland being a road favorite here at -2.5. Currently, the over-under at 44.5, which I think is interesting as well. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm taking the Texans straight up in this game. I already said earlier with Thomas. I think they pull this out. I think this is the end of the Browns' road here. I think Ryans and Stroud and Collins, it's just be a little too much on the offensive side for that defense, and a quarterback who doesn't turn the ball over a lot, and Stroud against a good turnover defense. And on the other side, I think Flacco finally comes down to earth here, becomes flaccid, if you know what I'm saying. So what do you think?
Yeah, I know these dudes just played each other maybe about 3 weeks ago, but
they
don't
did.
Don't let that fool you because Stroud was out, obviously. Collins was out, I believe, as well. Tank Dell was obviously hurt by that game, and they were missing several defenders. Their best corner, Stingley, he was out for that game too. So you're getting the rematch. You know what they're about because Amari Cooper just went off that game, and you're getting a bunch of players that missed that game back. Yeah, I'm also going Texans. I think the Joe Flacco elite train stops here.
Yeah, I don't see Amari Cooper putting up 300 and whatever he did that game again.
Yeah. No, that's not happening.
Yeah, and I always like taking the other team in a rematch game like this too at home in a playoff atmosphere where there's a lot more on the line for Houston to be like, you slapped us, now it's time for us to slap you. So I think Houston wins, and the public, by the way, is also not on our side. Cleveland's a very popular pick here.
I mean, it's literally the is Joe Flacco elite train. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, 57% of the public is on the Flacco elite train.
Yeah, and there is a Better Boss puts in the comment that you can't pick Flacco and Myles Garrett. I believe Myles Garrett is going to have to go up against Laramie Tunsil, who I don't know. Tunsil might have been missing that game as well. So the fact that they have him back is a huge plus. So this, I don't know, man. I am not feeling the Browns because Tunsil's still one of the better, gets a lot of penalties, but he's still one of the better O linemen in the game.
Yeah, I'm not jumping on the Browns bandwagon quite yet. I'm going against the public as well. In Houston, I'm going to get. Yeah, I think we're on the same page there. Let's move on. I'm interested to see how far you have Houston going now, but we'll move on to the. Okay, what is the NFL doing here? To watch Miami, which by the way kicked themselves in the butt at Kansas City, you have to download Peacock and watch it on Peacock. Are you kidding me?
Which
only Peacock?
I'm good because my dad pays for Peacock, so I just mooch off him for that. So that works out. So that's how my whole family does it. Like one of us will pay for a streaming service and everyone else will mooch off that person. I think I pay for like 3 of them. So it just kind of worked. It just kind of works out that way. But no, like I trust me, I don't like it. But if anyone's gonna pay for content, it's gonna be Swifties. So
that has to be what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, you saw how well that Eras Tour movie did. So they're all paying for tickets for that.
It didn't win the Golden Globe last night, though. It did not win the Golden Globe.
That's okay. It's okay. For the game as a whole,
-3.5 Kansas City favorites, 53% of the public on Miami, so almost close to 50-50 there.
Even with Kansas City just not being able to catch whatsoever, Dolphins haven't looked great. They've kind of fallen apart.
Is Waddle back? Do we know?
I don't know if he's back, but here's the big thing for me. This game is going to be played on Saturday night in 10-degree weather. They already said the wind is going to be about 15 miles an hour with the wind chill. You're looking at 0 degrees. I'm taking Kansas City in this game.
I agree with you whatsoever. I agree with you as well, but I'm also taking the -3.5. I'm taking them and the points to cover the -3.5.
Yeah, I think that's a good bet.
And the over and under 44, really going down because of the weather.
That's a little low, but I think now Tyreek Hill can go because he's played in that weather before.
Yeah.
Everyone else, I'm not sure. And Tua is
that Kansas City defense is the reason why they were better than they should have been this year, to be honest.
No, exactly. Yeah. So I got the Chiefs winning this one.
Same here. All right, let's move on to the early game on Sunday. Shout out to Thomas Stevens and his Pittsburgh Steelers, but the game ends here. Pittsburgh backed their way into the playoffs. And they're against the Buffalo Bills. So remember, I had Buffalo winning the AFC at the beginning of the year. Buffalo's 5 straight in a row. -10 in Buffalo. You go first.
It's good, dude. It's Mason Rudolph is okay, but if you don't start him, you're starting Kenny Pickett. He's not going to do anything. The running game is good. It might gash him a little bit. I don't think the receivers are all that. Let me say this as carefully as I can. The receivers are good. I don't know, but honestly, it don't matter. This Steelers team is not winning. Also, TJ Watt is missing too. Most likely missing this game with that MCL
That's
strain.
a huge.
That's a massive loss.
All they got to do is double Cameron Hayward on the other side, and it's over, right?
Yeah, and like I said, like the Steelers have good receivers, but with that quarterback, they're only okay. Nah, the Bills are winning this game. It's not even close. There's a reason why this is kicking off on Sunday.
Yeah, 62% of the public is taking the +10. Can you believe that?
Yeah, no, I think I'd probably take that as well.
I'm not taking the +10. I'm taking the -10. Buffalo wins by a lot early. Also, there's Gabe Davis injury news. I don't know if he's going to be playing. He hurt himself.
They said he might come back, but honestly, I think you can win this game without him. I wouldn't even.
I think Shakir is a better receiver than Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis kind of a one-trick pony anyway, so I'm not too worried about it.
Well, we'll see, man. We will see on that. But yeah, there's your AFC wild card.
Man, Sunday is going to be fun. Green Bay At Dallas, moving over to the NFC side of things. Green Bay won. Hey, you got to give me credit. I said Green Bay. They were going to do better than what most people thought. I said they could even possibly maybe win the division. They made the playoffs.
I was right in them being in first pick contention for about half of the season. And then Jordan Love decided to play like he's Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers, like he's the next in line, which I mean he is. But yeah, no, he's played really well. I can't give him enough credit. However, that defense is a major issue, and CeeDee Lamb will gash that defense. I got the Cowboys winning.
Yes, I think it is minus 7.5 for everyone out there. 54% of the public is taking the 7.5. I'm actually going to take Green Bay and the plus 7.5. I think it's going to be closer than people think. I think Dallas wins, but just maybe by a touchdown. So I'm taking Green Bay and the points, but Dallas wins the game.
Yeah,
there we go.
I
have a feeling you and I are going to be 100% aligned on the NFC side of things here.
I think so for the most part. Honestly, we might be 100% aligned on the entire wild card weekend.
We could be. Yeah.
I really think so.
So
I'll tell you what. We'll wait for this one because this is the one I'm actually the most excited about for the whole weekend. We'll wait on this one. We'll do this one first.
Yeah, next week, by the way, Monday Night Rants. Tune in, and you can watch this game with us as we go
during that Monday night game. Yeah.
I don't know why they're doing that, but kudos to them. Giving us some content here on a Monday night.
Because money, I guess. I don't know.
Because money. Love it.
Because money.
Philadelphia, a road favorite, minus 2.5 at Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who did not look great against Carolina Panthers, but they did what they had to do. Baker Mayfield is injured everywhere. The Philadelphia Eagles look injured everywhere. 60% of the public taking the minus 2.5 for the road favorites in Philadelphia and Tampa Bay. Who do you got here?
I got the Bucs winning this game. I'm going to be honest. I think the Eagles have kind of fallen apart. The AJ Brown knee issue, I think we're still kind of figuring out what that is. He didn't completely tear anything, but it's not good. Also, by the way, MetLife, please fix your freaking turf. My God. So that's another conversation for another day. But I think the Bucs win this game. The Eagles have. I think, with the exception of Hurts, because ironically he's not the one that has it. I think they have a bit of an ego problem, but not necessarily with the players. I think Sirianni's in a little over his head. And I remember saying this last year that both the coordinators being poached from Philadelphia was going to be a problem this year. And it wasn't until they got smacked in the mouth by San Francisco. And they've been on a downhill trend since, man. It's just, I think 2-5 since he was chirping at KC fans on that Monday night game. So they're just, I think the Bucs actually win this game. The Bucs didn't have to necessarily try to beat Carolina because Carolina is bad. They just had Carolina didn't score a single point in their last 8 quarters. 8.
That's 2 full games.
Yeah, they had 2 final games were shut out. Tampa's winning this game, dude.
I agree. I actually think the Buccaneers win on a field goal to win. I think it's going to be close, low scoring. The over-under is 44. I'm taking the under, and I'm taking Tampa Bay money line. Peppering a little money line. Not a full unit, but maybe a half on the money line there for the Buccaneers. I'd like to see the Eagles go back to the 49ers and get whomped again, but I think the Buccaneers actually pulled this off here. So we have both home underdogs winning. That's my style. I love it. All right. Matthew Stafford goes back home, baby. Lead the way. What do you got here? What do you got here in the Lions-Rams?
So Jared Goff used to quarterback the Lions. Matt Stafford used to quarterback the Rams or the Lions. And
the other way around.
Yeah,
they're the same person.
Not the point. Anyways, ruined my whole little spiel. This is going to be a great game. I'm really
the game of the week.
Excited for this.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. You have Montgomery and Gibbs on one side, Kyron Williams on the other. You have Jamison Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown on one side, and you have Kupp and Naku on the other. This game is going to be a dog. But even on defense, Aaron Donald on one side, Aiden Hutchinson on the other.
You're kidding me.
This game is, dude. This is the game of the weekend. I am
no Laporta though. I don't think that sucks.
Yeah, I think he said he's going to be a game time-ish decision. smartly, and I know this is your first home playoff game in the history of Ford Field. I know this is a big deal. I think future-wise, you kind of have to sit Laporta at least for a week just to get him healed up. Yeah, they got plenty of other offensive weapons. However, the Rams go into Detroit, and Matt Stafford takes out his old team, takes out the Lions. The Rams win this game.
I think Lions win. This is the one we differ on. I have the Lions. I think the crowd is going to be out of this world. The team is going to be playing, lively. Although I said that on Thanksgiving and they lost to the Packers. So I know.
It's true.
But
and that's when the Packers started to make that run too. So credit to them.
Mm-hmm. But Lions, their defense has not been great, and they struggle against mobile quarterbacks. But Hutchinson, Matthew Stafford is not a mobile quarterback. And if they could get the run going with Kyron Williams, that could change things, which they can. But on the defensive side of the ball, I think the Rams secondary is going to struggle a little bit keeping all those receivers at bay. And I really do feel it's going to be a shootout for one. The over and under is currently off. So I don't know what it is right now, but
it's not even on. It's going to be that much of a shootout. The
game. Let me see if there's any line movement in it. But I like the Lions to win this game. I don't think they win their next game, but I think they win this game.
No, I'm gonna take the Rams to win this one. So in that case, you would have Niners, Bucks,
correct?
Rams, Lions, Cowboys,
correct.
Oh, that's interesting. So you would have a rematch of the blown call.
100%.
Okay.
Narrative for the Lions all the way through, baby. Let's go.
All right. Well, real quick, because I know we're already past an hour, but
we're finish it up.
This is how I would have the rest of the playoffs going, and I'm going to go to the NFC first. I'm going to have, I think the Niners win this game.
Yes.
And I hate kind of doing this, but the Cowboys are actually good. They're actually really good.
I have 49ers Cowboys as well there as well.
Yeah, so. I hate doing a 1-2 conference matchup because it's almost never a 1-2. But this year, like, these two teams are the two dogs of the NFC.
And in the NFC, that matchup is almost like the Thanos snap. It's inevitable. Like it's
yeah. So watch one of these teams screw it up, and guess what? It's going to be this team right here.
Most likely.
Yeah. So, but when it comes down to these in the championship game, barring major injury to a key player, I don't see anyone standing in San Francisco's way. They go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's no line for the total here.
Interesting.
Jesus. Oh, 51.5. Wow.
Oh, over 51.5 easily.
Yeah.
For this one,
just moved right now, so we'll see what it turns into. But yeah, over for sure.
For these two games,
yeah, this is where we're going to differ. I think
I'm going to do it. I'm going to
do
it.
You would.
Texas,
I knew.
make it to because for whatever reason,
stick with what you said, baby.
January,
right into the end.
Well, stick with what I said, but for whatever reason, this team forgets how to play football in January. I don't know how to explain it. They just prove me wrong, is what I'm saying. Prove me wrong. But this Texas team is young. They're exciting. They're coached very well. They go to the AFC Championship.
Okay. I mean, I have the Ravens. You have the Texans. I like the Texans, so I like it because I think we're going to get back aligned here next. I have Bills.
This is where my prediction falls short. I have the Bills winning.
Me too.
Because two things. Number one, this game would be in Buffalo, assuming it turns out this way.
Correct. Yep.
So the Bills would be going on. Yeah, the Bills would be going on. They would be in Buffalo. And the Chiefs don't have any receivers. Those dudes can't catch. It's like, and Kelsey's kind of old now. So I think it's a Bills.
He's in love, Heavy T. He's in love.
As he should be. As he should be. Something I've been looking for my whole life, and he found it before me. God bless him. So you're going to get Texans, Bills. And for the AFC Championship, in the words of many people
before he does it, let me just say I have the Bills 49ers in the Super Bowl.
In the words of my friends and followers and people before me, F it, we ball. Texans go to the Super Bowl. Texans will go to the Super Bowl to play the 49ers. But this is where the dream ends. The 49ers absolutely kill them. And the 49ers are your Super Bowl champion. That is, like I said, barring major injury, I don't see how the Niners don't win the Super Bowl. I really don't. I know they got spacked by Baltimore, but that's one of the few days where the whole team as a collective, and it's Purdy especially, just had a really bad game. And you know what? You're going to have those games. It's bound to happen.
And I don't think Baltimore gets back there to even play him in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't think they get back to the Super Bowl either. So Texans, 49ers. The Texans go on a Cinderella Bengals-like run about 2-3 years ago. And the 49ers win.
Is that true? We got breaking NBA news all over the place.
Yeah, I just saw that, and now I'm scared. So hold on.
What did he do? What did he do?
John Morant suffered a subluxation of his right shoulder on Saturday, and after ongoing soreness and instability, Morant had MRI that revealed underlying labral tear. Oof. And he is undergoing season-ending surgery for this tear. That is per Shams. That is brutal.
Wow. Well, hey, at least the first thing I thought was, oh crap, what did he do on Instagram? So
yeah, well,
yeah. Well, Memphis weren't going to make the playoffs anyways. They're having a really bad year. Why not get it fixed, right? Come back next year stronger. So
yeah.
Sucks for you fantasy owners like me in my dynasty, but I didn't have them for half the season anyway. So what the hell? It doesn't really matter.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, 2024, 2025, John Morant, comeback player of the year. Lock it in, baby. It's happening. Put your money on it now. Put your money on it now. It's happening.
That is a guarantee.
That is the lock of the decade, lock of the century, lock of the millennium, if you will. John Morant, 24, 25 CPOY. Lock that in. That is happening.
Speaking of comeback player of the year, before we go here, do you think?
Oh man, I know where this is going, and I don't know, man.
Do you think Flacco's going to overtake Hamlin as the comeback player of the year? It's been Hamlin all year, and finally one of the odds.
So like when you go on Twitter, you see a lot of memes, right? And one of the best memes I've seen on this is that it gave the reasons why each of the two should win comeback player of the year. And DeMar Hamlin, it says came back from dying. And then it says Joe Flacco.
Sorry to laugh, but holy crap.
It says Joe Flacco came back from playing for the Jets, which is arguably worse than dying. So I don't know, man. I think I remember saying that all DeMar Hamlin has to do is literally play a snap, and the award is his.
Oh, he played some special teams that he due to injuries, he actually did play a few snaps on defense in like week 12 or 13, I think.
Yeah, but Joe Flacco, in the span of 5 or 6 or however many games he played, threw for more touchdowns than 4 teams had total touchdowns the entire season. Threw for more touchdowns than Kenny Pickett has his entire career. That dude's been playing for 2 years already. Like, just, and he is single-handedly responsible. If Kevin Stefanski wins Coach of the Year, give it to Joe Flacco. Like, it should be Stefanski / Flacco. Okay? Like, just, oh, man. I probably still give it to Hamlin. If there was ever a year where, like, comeback player of the year should happen.
Break the award in half and give it to both.
Yeah, literally. That's exactly what you should do, because how do you pick? It takes special circumstances for a player who was literally dead on the field and came back to life to come back and play and win this award. But guess what? Those special circumstances, they kind of happened.
With Joe Flacco, 100%.
Joe Flacco was the 4th quarterback for the season. The season. And he came in and led the Browns to not only a winning record, but a very good winning record at that. At the way they finished 11-5, 11-6, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, they're like we have them losing in the first round, but they're going to give the Texans a fight. So
Yeah, I
oh
agree.
man, if it goes to 1, probably still Hamlin though.
Probably agree. You kind of have to, but Flacco is a great story and has been fun. So
Yeah,
enjoy it while you can, Browns fans. Just take it all in. Take it all in and enjoy it for what it is.
here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
All right, my friend. Well, oh, by the way, a very, very, very special shout out to our guillotine winner. Let's give it up
of course.
to Corn 4. That's right, Corn 4. Mr. Archon 56 in the finals after I went out in the semifinals. I made it to the top 3, though. Not bad. But then I just didn't have enough.
I made like top 10.
And Corn 4 gets a $100 bill, a crisp $100 bill, and I'm going to send him a little trophy in recognition of winning as well. That he could put it on his mantle, or do it what he wants, give it to his wife, give it to his kid, his dog, or whatever, whoever he wants to. Sleep with it at night, put it behind his pillow, shower with it. I don't care what he does with it. Just don't tell me. But yeah, off to him. Congratulations to the guillotine winner for 2023, Corn 4. And we are definitely doing that again this year. I can say this year now. And it was a lot of fun. So shout out to that and some best ball stuff. I have some planned. Anyways, Heavy T, thank you so much for coming back after your holidays. Next week, we have a Monday night football game, playoff football game.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we can have some fun barking orders from What Say Ye Heavy T as well.
Hey, man, I'm just saying next year or next week, I should say, for Monday Night Football, we and the rest of the nation witness the primetime downfall of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Wouldn't that be a lot of fun?
It's almost as good as Christmas. It's almost there. Almost as good. That's what you get for pelting Santa with snowballs.
That's and booing at the same time.
Yeah.
20-13. Michigan ahead by a touchdown. They just got the ball back after a punt. 5 minutes left in the third quarter. So my fellow ranters, from myself, Thomas Stevens, and of course, Tyler Heavy T, Soto. Enjoy the rest of the game. Enjoy your Monday. Enjoy your week. Shout out to Taj McGowan. We'll see you next week. Boom.